Can't be losing it, not before the year. End exams. I kept on running down the street, moving like Jack Sparrow, making a getaway. Then out of nowhere a car honked at me, and I nearly jumped out of my skin. At the exact same moment all the fire hydrants along the street burst open, spraying water everywhere. Okay, I am losing it now. My head was spinning like crazy, and I had to lean against the wall just to keep steady, panting hard. Suddenly everything went blurry and then I blacked out. Is she gone, honey? Don't be ridiculous, her mind's just overwhelmed. I blinked my eyes open and found myself in a brightly lit living room. A gentle-faced woman was moving burning herbs over me. I coughed. Who the hell are you and what are those herbs? They smell awesome. Welcome back, dear. I'm Evelyn, Sarah's mom, I said on the couch, scanning the room. Sarah was nearby, putting on this whole act like she couldn't care less about what was going on around her. Why am I here? What's going on? Sarah brought you here. It seems like your powers just awakened and your mind couldn't handle it. It's normal. It happens to a lot of witches. I burst into hysterical laughter. Your family is all kinds of nuts, huh? Evelyn flashed me a smile, then mysteriously moved her hand and a flame flickered to life in the center of her bomb. I jumped off the sofa, scared as heck. Is this some kind of trick? Oh, for heaven's sake, you saw what you did back at school, and later everyone saw it, and I had to clean up your mess and wipe out dozens of memories. Do you even know how difficult the memory spell is? It's freaking exhausting. So stop denying the truth. Because I'm seriously pissed off right now. You're a witch. I think I need a second opinion. My whole life I grew up in a family that believed only in science. Right now every fiber of my being should have been shouting fake, fraud, insane. Still deep down I knew it was real. Does your mom have any power? She's the most ordinary person you could imagine. That's strange. Usually powers manifest through women's DNA and awaken at a very young age. Well, they're certainly late by exactly 16 years. Then wait. You're turning 16 today. Yeah, talk about a birthday surprise, huh? Curious, very curious. As Evelyn drifted into her thoughts, I concentrated on my hands. I moved them around, feeling awkward, but despite a slight itch in my palms, there was no hint of a flame. You're not going anywhere until you truly believe in what? In magic, in yourself. Yes, belief and focus are the first steps to unlocking your power, but let's save that for another time. It's getting late. Sarah, could you take our new witch to her home? She's perfectly capable of doing it herself. Just make sure she doesn't accidentally blow anything up along the way. Okay, gee, fine, let's go. The night rolled in as we walked through the park in complete silence. I'm sorry if I caused you any trouble today. I didn't mean to, and thanks for helping me out. Just learn to handle your magic, okay? Or it could cause a ton of problems if people catch on. Normies aren't supposed to know magic's real, like in Harry Potter. Got it. Happy birthday, by the way. Thanks. So now that I'm a witch, what can I do right now? Not much, but with some time and practice you'll be able to do all sorts of things. And what can you do already? Me, pretty much anything, really. I'm a powerful witch. Suddenly a scream pierced through the quiet of the woods. We need to be quiet and careful. I'm a newly minted witch. Do I need a secret password to survive this? Is it bubble bubble? I'm in trouble. Oh, guess sorry. Humor is my defense mechanism. Suddenly I felt a pull inside me, and without overthinking I dashed toward the sound. Where are you, Aurora? Are you insane? She followed after me. Up ahead there was a dim path, totally deserted except for one guy just lying there, and around him things were getting really weird. Something like foggy darkness was swirling around, shifting into all kinds of strange shapes and slowly creeping over his body. It looks like it's eating him. It certainly looked that way, like something straight out of a horror movie. I felt a shiver creep down my spine. Help to do something. Me, you're a freaking powerful witch. Help him. She muttered something under her breath and began unleashing bursts of light towards the strange shadow. At first it seemed like her efforts were in vain, but then the creature stumbled and vanished into the shadows between the trees. That's it. Did I win? It looks like it. Darkness surrounded us from every direction. It seemed like this thick smoky wall closing in on us bit by bit. Sarah kept shooting bursts of light, but they ended one after the other. We stuck close together, desperate to avoid touching the shadows, but within its suffocating hold we couldn't see anything else. No trees, no sky, just pitch black darkness all around us. We're toast. She was right. It felt like our final moments on Earth. I closed my eyes, preparing for the worst, and then felt something warm stirring inside me. I didn't know what it was, but I believed it and focused on that feeling. My body began to tremble, and the next moment the brightest energy burst out from within me, flooding the area with light as if it were midday. How did you do that? Sarah seemed shocked, scared, and frankly a little jealous. I glanced down at my body, confused. No idea, but what was that thing? No idea. I've never seen anything like it before. We heard some murmur coming from the guy we saved from the darkness. As we got closer I recognized him. He was from another class. We'd crossed paths a few times before. Are you an angel? Should we wipe his memory? I'll take him to my mom. You go home. I can help. No, you've done enough. Her tone was icy for some reason, and I could sense the jealousy in her gaze. With a quick move Sarah effortlessly lifted the boy as if he weighed nothing. Definitely you losing some magic tricks. Without a glance my way she walked off in the Opposite direction. My head was spinning as I walked home after everything that had gone down today. I couldn't shake the feeling that maybe I was just dreaming it all up. Suddenly I felt uneasy. It was like someone was watching me from the shadows. I looked around, but there was nothing there. Must be my nerves from today's craziness. I picked up my pace, and then I heard noises behind me. Before I knew it, a shadowy figure emerged from the trees and started heading straight for me. My heart raced like crazy, and all I could think was I got to run now, and so I ran. I leaped over fallen logs, ducked under branches, and bulldozed through bushes, not stopping for anything. Then bam, I didn't see the stupid hole in the ground and tripped, eating dirt like a champ. As I lay there trying to catch my breath, I heard footsteps closing, and each one sounding louder and heavier than the last. I was trapped. What magical creature would I encounter now? A wizard, a warlock, a knight, a demon, or something even worse? What the heck? I flipped over. It was just my classmate Leo, peering down at me with a mix of confusion and worry. Oh, it's just you. Who did you think I was? Why were you running? Why were you chasing? He reached out a hand to help me up. I just wanted to chat. You always just snake up on people in the middle of the forest like some horror movie villain just to chat. He smiled and ran a hand through his hair, a move that had all the girls swooning except me. No one ever mentioned I had a villain vibe. Oh, don't worry, aging can be tough on some. We locked eyes, the air thick with unspoken words. Alright, spill, what's this chat really about? Well, for starters, I know about your powers and powers. You've been reading too many comic books. Leo, quit messing around. I've seen what you did at school. I usually stay out of witches' business, but witches? Leo, that hair gel's really seeping into your brain. What's next? You're going to tell me you're Harry Potter? Nope, just a pro demon hunter. And I've been assigned to monitor an amateur witch who can't control her powers. You assign? Yeah, I'm not thrilled about babysitting you either, but it's what I'm stuck with. So from now on, keep me updated on your witchy activities and whereabouts so I can keep you safe. Oh, way, oh, hold up. Say, from what looks like from yourself, I can take care of myself just fine. I don't need your help. It's not up to you to decide. And who gets to decide? You, not me, but the ones I answer to. And who might that be? That's none of your business, and my life is none of yours now. It is. So you want to know my every move? Well, I'm going home now. Feeling a surge of anger and exhaustion, I turned away, yearning for the simple ability to teleport straight home. I got to ask Sarah if that's possible. When I finally made it home, I felt like a deflated balloon, but what really knocked the wind out of me was walking into an empty house with their new jobs. My parents work twice as much as before. Soon I'll probably forget what they even look like. I hoped they'd at least be here for my birthday, but the fridge was empty with no cake in sight. I made myself a really sad sandwich, stuck a candle in it, and made my usual wish. I wished to have people who truly understood me and who were always there for me. Is that really too much to ask? When I returned to school the next day, everything appeared to be back to normal. It seemed like nobody remembered my volcanic disaster. Maybe Sarah is actually a good witch. I saw her at the end of the hall and I waved, but she pretended like she didn't see me. Why is she acting like that? Hey Aurora, have you seen Rose today? No, why? She was supposed to meet me last night but never showed up, and I haven't been able to reach her since. I'm sure she'll turn up. Rose was always the quiet one, easily overlooked. It seemed like no one else really cared about her whereabouts except for her only friend, but I had my own worries for the day. My mind was elsewhere, lost in fog, making it almost impossible to focus on anything happening in class. I still couldn't wrap my head around what happened to me yesterday. Out of nowhere, my whole life got flipped upside down, and there was no one to help me make any sense of it. Why me? Why now? And what am I even capable of? I fixed my gaze on the pen resting on my desk, and I tried to move it without touching it. Of course, at first nothing. I put more strength into it, then the pen started to tremble. I concentrated harder and harder, and it suddenly leaped into the air, flew halfway across the classroom, and hit Leo right on the head. He looked back surprised. You arrived after our odd chat last night. I wasn't in the mood to apologize. What a demonstration of Newton's laws. Aurora, remember folks, physics can be a real head turner. The class giggled. At that moment the bell rang and the class was dismissed. See you next week, kids. Just after the teacher left, Regina couldn't resist throwing her 2 cents in. She turned around and looked at me. You're a nice demonstration of how desperate you are to get Leo's attention. I was not. Don't get me wrong, I admire your confidence, especially when he's so obviously out of your look. Everyone laughed at me. I wanted to jump on her and ruin her perfect makeup, but I restrained myself. I looked down, but surprisingly someone jumped to my defense. Shut up, Regina, you want to talk desperation? How about you keep throwing yourself at Leo and he keeps swerving? Look at that. Of course freaks have each other's back. Who are you calling freak? You're just as weird as your mother. Suddenly Sarah lunged at Regina, grabbing her hair. From behind the classroom erupted in cheers. I hurried over to break up the fight, but just then the principal, hearing the noise, stepped into the classroom. What's going on here? Everyone quickly backed away, leaving us 3 in the center of the quarrel. These 2 weirdos just jumped me out of nowhere. What? She started. You 2 silence now. Your parent will be getting a call from me today. I Won't tolerate such behavior in this school. He left before we could explain that so unfair. Regina walked away triumphantly towards the cafeteria. Enraged, I went after her. Sarah rushed behind me. Aurora, stop in the cafeteria. I focused on a soccer ball in a boy's hands nearby and sent it flying straight towards Regina's head. Don't. Sarah redirected the ball, causing it to hit the opposite wall. I looked at her. Taking a bath. You can't use magic at school. You'll be seen. But it was you who started the fight. She deserves it. She absolutely does, but using magic recklessly can have consequences, especially when you can't control your powers. Yet it's going to be fine. Don't brush me off. First you need to learn. Stop it, Aurora. Regina tried to sit down at the table, but I made her chair disappear, causing her to fall to the floor. The entire cafeteria burst into hysterical laughter. See, everything's fine. Where did you send the chair? I just made it vanish. Magic doesn't work like that. If an object disappears, it has to go somewhere else. She shut her eyes and focused. I can't find its trace. Meanwhile, Regina, red with embarrassment, tried to sit down once more, but yep, I made another chair disappear. Sorry, not sorry. Regina landed hard on the floor and immediately sprang to her feet. What's going on? She looked around, her expression filled with fury and confusion. Her girlfriend shook their head in disbelief, clearly unable to explain anything. I think I'm getting the hang of it. You should stop now. But I didn't want to stop. After years of torment, it was finally payback time. I kept pranking Regina, changing her glass into a potato, putting worms in her food, tying her shoelaces together, and more. I couldn't stop. Some pranks were screaming magic, so Sarah had to undo them fast before anyone would notice. I will not risk using memory charm to save your but anymore. You can't imagine how hard. She fell silent as Simon approached, looking much better than yesterday after we saved him. His gaze had an affection that caught me off guard. Do I have a fly in my hair? I had the strangest dream about you last night. You were like an angel saving me from some dark monster. I choked, exchanging a questioning look with Sarah before turning back to Simon. Glad I get out. But do you usually share your wild dreams with people? I am. No, it's just it felt so real. You know. He blushed deeply and hurried away, muttering to himself. How come he remembers wiping his memory was way too risky. With all he went through, it could have messed him up bad. That's what I've been trying to tell you all along, that he's a wreck. Know that using memory charms is too dangerous. You never know what might happen, so stop being so careless. Suddenly there was a loud bang followed by laughter. The tied shoelaces on Regina's sneakers had done their trick. Now she was sprawled on the floor with a nosebleed. That's priceless. Oh, I love magic. Oh no. I followed Sarah's gaze and gasped. There was a strange black thing floating in the air above our heads. Is that a ball, a gap, a hole? I'm not sure, but it doesn't look good. The thing pulsed slightly, but everyone seemed too distracted with their gadgets to notice it. It feels like something magical. Easy peasy. I tried to make it vanish like the chairs before, but it only grew wider. Fork, I didn't mean to. Don't do anything, please. There are too many people here. Let's come back after classes. But what if somebody notices it? Can we at least cover it somehow? Good idea. She waved her hand and the thing blinked and disappeared under what seems like a veil. Great, problem solved. Of course, the problem was far from solved. After school we went straight to Sarah's house because her mom wanted to have a chat with me and to wait for everyone else to clear out of the school before going, and Sarah made me promise not to say anything about the huge black hole in the middle of the cafeteria. Sarah told me everything. I looked at Sarah in panic. About how you saved that boy yesterday. Don't forget I set the stage. Can you explain to me how you did it? I just felt a warmth inside me and believed I could do it. How simple. Absolute genius. Your potential is extraordinary. If you learn to embrace and develop your abilities, you can become a truly powerful witch, almost like me. But you should be careful, Aurora. With great power comes great responsibility. Great, the Uncle Ben's speech. She didn't pay attention to my comment and bombarded me with questions about my family background. Still, she had no evidence of any magical heritage. I also shared the details of my mundane life, which sounded even duller than I thought. Looks like your powers were suppressed until yesterday, but I can't figure out why. Is there a way to find out? I'll try my best, but you may never know why this happened. For now, focus on mastering your powers. You need to be strong. There are many dangers out there. Suddenly I recalled Leo's words from last night. You're an amateur witch and I'm a pro demon hunter. I was assigned to watch over you. By whom and why? I thought about asking Evelyn, but something stopped me from doing so. It wasn't like I didn't trust her, but my guts told me to stay quiet for a change. For the next hour we practiced basic magic skills in their backyard, which felt easy to me after my recent pranks on Regina. That's great, but be careful with magic so you don't hurt anyone or get caught. Sarah shot me and I told you so. Look, but what if someone really deserves it? Is it your place to decide? Besides, there are consequences on using your magic carelessly. Maybe I shouldn't have messed with Regina at lunch. Then Evelyn explained the concept of the realms between worlds. There's the thing called the midworld. It's like a buffer zone between different worlds and realities. It's basically just empty space, pure nothingness, and that's where you can safely use magic that might mess up our world. How can I use it? Take a look. And She opened up the air in front of me and put an apple into that space. We mainly use it for disposing of things or hiding them away. The only rule is don't put living things there, they won't make it if you seal the gap. No hiding puppies in there. Gotcha. You don't need to physically open the door, just thinking about it is enough. And what happens if I just make stuff disappear without sending it to the midworld? You don't, it could cause chaos in our reality. I gulped, my mind flooded with image of that strange black object hovering in the cafeteria. Oopsie. When we stepped back into the empty cafeteria, the air was filled with a strange buzzing noise like a swarm of bees. What on earth is that sound? But as soon as Sarah removed the veil, it all made sense. That black thing was indeed a hole. It was swirling and pulsating wildly, and it had grown much larger than before. It's your fault, so go on, use your extraordinary magic to fix it. Don't pin this on me, might just be a coincidence. No, it's not, it was you. I don't know how to fix it. I thought it was easy for you. All you have to do is believe, right? I got angry and started trying different things, but nothing worked, just made it worse. The hole kept growing fast, the buzzing getting louder and louder, almost unbearable. Oh yeah, truly extraordinary powers you got here, Sarah. Okay, you win, I'll say it. I need your help. Then the hole suddenly exploded and a bunch of stuff started pouring out of it. Cups, pillows, loaves of bread, a small tree, even a bicycle. Look, there are those chairs you made disappear earlier. Shoot, so it was me. Sarah was right all along. This chaos was caused by my careless use of magic. I sprinted around ground, grabbing stuff and throwing it back into the crazy hole in the air, but it felt like I was stuck in a never-ending loop with more and more junk raining down at me no matter what I did. All right, make some space for the real. Which can I help? Stick with me. She guided me through the process, shouting out instructions along the way. Concentrate, spin, squash, push. Together we worked our magic, sweating buckets as we gradually sealed the hole shut. That was intense, but it didn't stop there. The area around us was filled with a jumble of objects. Remember your training and help me move everything to the midworld. For the next half hour we busted our butts getting rid of all the junk in the cafeteria. It was exhausting, but I was loving every minute of it. Feeling the magic coursing through my veins was incredible. I was a witch, I was special, and my life finally had meaning. Nothing could go wrong. Aurora, we've got a situation. I spun around and my heart skipped a beat. There stood Regina at the cafeteria entrance.